Well, good evening and welcome to Newswatch on this 23rd day of October 2020. My name is Teresia Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi. Thank you for choosing Hope TV, where you look and live. Top on our news tonight, President Uhuru Kenyatta has underscored the importance of the border sector in the country, describing it as a silent economic miracle story yet to be told. Addressing officials of the Border Association of Kenya at the Pumwani Social Hall in Nairobi, the president challenged the riders to make their lives meaningful and not allow politicians to use them during campaigns. He at the same time urged them to support the Building Bridges Initiative report that is set to be launched on Monday. Here's our reporter Alice Diana with that story.
Deputy President William Ruto has been in the headlines meeting border riders and other low-income earning youth groups in his quest to support their businesses. Ruto will be heard telling off his critics, especially those questioning his wheelbarrow and border projects to the youth as he seeks to succeed his boss in the 2022 general elections. In what will be seen as a tactical counter, his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta, has also met officials of the border sector and commended the riders, saying the business supports directly or indirectly approximately 5.2 million Kenyans, which is about 10% of the population. Uhuru, who met the officials of the Border Association of Kenya from all the 47 counties on Friday in Nairobi, challenged the riders to maximize their potential and create a strong industry in the country which will empower each rider.
That nobody has a bigger presence in Kenya in terms of footprint than you do. And that's why we call it the silent miracle. From every village to every house in that village, munatoa mtu, ama ni mama ambaye anaenda hospitali, ama ni nani, ama ni mtu anaenda kazini, nyinyi ndio mnamtoa kwake nyumbani, mnampeleka kwa matatu ndio afike kazini, ndio mnatoa mama kwa nyumbani, mnampeleka mpaka pahali ambulance inaweza kumchukua.
The president said the border sector had grown into a multi-billion industry within a very short duration, adding that if well managed, it had the potential to make even more money. To illustrate his point, the president said the 1.4 million non-riders in the country collect an average of 180 million shillings daily, which amounts to 6.8 billion shillings in a week and 27 billion shillings every month. Despite the impressive collections, the head of state regretted that the border operators continue to suffer economic hardships because of the disorganization in the sector.
And indeed, as you said correctly, Bwana Chairman, what we give to the counties today, every year, is 316 billion Kenya shillings. So it means that what the government gives to the counties, your association, if you were together, would make more than what the government gives to 47 counties in our country. But the question you must ask yourself is that if you are collecting almost 1 billion shillings every day, kwa nini kila boda analia umaskini? Hiyo ndio swali sasa, si ndio?
He at the same time cautioned the riders against allowing themselves to be misused by others for personal gains and challenged them to work hard, knowing that it is through hard work that they can prosper, and further advised them to develop a strong saving culture so as to avoid being misused by selfish individuals.
Kwa sababu ukisikia unaitwa wewe na unajiona wewe ni mtu ambaye sio mtu wa maana, basi hivyo ndivyo dunia itakutreat. Unaona? Lakini ukijifanya na usimame kama mtu ambaye anajua yeye ni mtu wa maana, hivyo ndivyo dunia pia itakuchukua. Lakini kama wewe mwenyewe umejidimini, wewe mwenyewe huna hiyo pride ya vile unafanya, right? Kama wewe basi wewe ni mtu ya kutumiwa, si ndio? Ni kutumiwa siku hiyo, basi kwenda zako, nikikuhitaji tena nitakuita.
The border riders were also urged to read the BBI proposals, with the president asking them to support it, saying it has good things for the country.
Ni kama hii document iko na kitu, na mimi naamini iko na mengi ambayo itaweza kubadilisha na kulinda maisha yako, iunge mkono na ndio Kenya isonge mbele vile mimi nataka wanaboda boda wasonge mbele.
Uhuru's meeting with the riders comes after he met another team of the riders during his 3-day tour of Nyanza region in what is seen as a tactic to lure them in his bid to amend the constitution through the BBI. Reporting for HOPETV News Watch, I'm Alice Diana.
Tumpongeze Mheshimiwa Rais kupata nafasi ya kuja kushiriki siku hii ya leo.
And the president has also urged Nairobi residents to support the Nairobi Metropolitan Service (NMS) and its Director General Major General Mohammed Badi as a state agency accelerates service delivery in the city. Speaking to residents of Pumwani and Majengo areas who turned out to bid him farewell after holding a meeting with leaders of the Border Safety Association, the president noted that no one's job has been snatched by NMS. And in August, President Kenyatta told Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko to stop politicizing the NMS and instead work with him. But Sonko has been accusing him of causing undeserved suffering to Nairobi residents through what he said is poor leadership style.
Mzee General Badi, muunge mkono jameni. Na anafanya kazi. Tunaelewana wenzangu. Na hakuna mtu ambaye kazi yake inachukuliwa. Tunaelewana? Let us work together kwa sababu if Nairobi improves, it will be for everybody. Na hata sasa tukiwa hapa nimemwambia hii barabara hii, nimeona vile ilivyo lazima atengenezea wananchi wa area hii, hizi barabara ambazo ziko hapa. Na hiyo ndio tunataka, ndio maisha ya watu ibadilike.
Malindi Member of Parliament Aisha Jumwa and her co-accused Geoffrey Okuto have been granted cash bail by a Mombasa court in a case where they are accused of murdering Gumbao Jola, a 48-year-old man in the Ganda ward by-election in October 2019. Jumwa has been granted a 4 million cash bail, while her aide has been released on a 1 million cash bail. And as Mark Kimondo reports, the two have, however, been warned against intimidating the prosecution witnesses and will be released upon payment of the cash bail.
After spending 4 nights in remand, embattled Malindi Member of Parliament Aisha Jumwa and her bodyguard Geoffrey Okuto, who are charged with the murder of Gumbao Jola, have been released on cash bail. The legislator and her aide appeared before a Mombasa court to answer murder charges, with the prosecution asking the court not to grant them cash bail. However, Mombasa High Court Judge Njoki Mwangi said there were no compelling reasons to continue holding the accused in remand.
There are no compelling reasons that have been advanced by the prosecution to persuade this court to decline to admit the accused persons to bail bonds pending trial.
This saw the vocal MPs set free on a 3 million shillings bond or a 4 million cash bail, with her co-accused being released on a cash bail of 1.5 million shillings with an alternative of 1 million shillings bond.
The terms for their release is as follows. 1. The first accused person may be released on execution of a bond in the sum of shillings 1 million with a surety of a similar amount, or cash bail in the sum of shillings 1,500,000 and one surety of a similar amount. 2. The second accused person may be released on execution of a bond in the sum of shillings 3 million and a surety of a similar amount.
Tafuteni mtu mwingine. Aisha will remain the same, the Iron Lady, defiant.
Jumwa and her bodyguard are accused of allegedly shooting 48-year-old Gumbao Jola in Ganda village on October 15, the year 2019, during the Ganda ward by-election. Gumbao, who was the uncle to the current MCA Ruben Katana, died upon arrival at Malindi General Hospital. The court also ordered the accused to surrender their passports to the court, saying they will only be allowed to travel if they provide reasonable answers on their need to travel, besides being warned against threatening prosecution witnesses.
Such a request or requests shall be accompanied by supporting documents to establish the purpose of their exit from Kenya
Mombasa Assistant Director of Public Prosecutor DPP Alois Kemo had earlier on opposed the release of the accused persons on bail, claiming that Jumwa is an influential person and she is likely to interfere with the prosecution witnesses after Jumwa's lawyers Dunstan Omari, Jared Magolo and Cliff Ombeta asked the court to release her and the bodyguard on reasonable bond terms, adding that the state has been frustrating the MP and her co-accused with the name of denying them bond. Jumwa and Otieno had been incarcerated last year but were later released on 500,000 cash bail each, pending investigations into the charges. Mark Kimundo for Hope TV.
An East Africa Legislative Assembly Iala MP Mpuri Aburi has told off Meru Governor Kiraitu Murungi over the Building Bridges Initiative BBI, saying the people of Meru County are fully behind the document. According to the Iala lawmaker, Governor Kiraitu should support the document as he prepares to exit office come 2022. Arguing him to stop turning Meru residents against President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Mpuri and Kiraitu have had a bumpy political relationship, with Kiraitu now writing to the Jubilee Party, asking it to remove Mpuri's name from Iala for allegedly stirring tribal discontent, hatred and animosity among the three Meru sub-tribes, that is Igembe, Imenti and Tigania, in public gatherings.
Wale wanamangamanga kusema hapa na pale, sisi hatuko nao, ya kwamba BBI inalaunziwa on Monday. Na mimi naambia wananchi wa Meru ya kwamba Kiraitu Murungi juzi alikana akasema hakuna BBI na support BBI hata kidogo, na akasema akawa against BBI. Sisi kiongozi wetu katika Meru community kutoka Gozi mpaka Ntonyeri ni Peter Katirao Munya, na ndio analeta BBI katika Meru County. Na BBI ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta wakiwa na Raila Odinga tunaisupport 100% na tutaipigia kura kwa kauli moja. Wewe Kiraitu Murungi kaa kona ile, tukae kona ile, tukutane kwa ndebe na tutakushinda na BBI. Tuna uhakika ya kwamba tunasupport BBI kwa sababu inatoa pesa kule central government, inaleta masinani kwa mwananchi wa kawaida. Wasasile umesikia kwamba pesa zinakuja masinani, ndio nasema kwamba tunasupport BBI ndio tuweke 2022 hata ukiruka, 2022 hata ukilala, 2022 hata ukinuka, wewe no peo utaenda nyumbani. Na huo ni ukweli wa mambo ya kwamba sisi tunamngoja Uhuru Kenyatta wakiwa wanapita Munya wakuje Meru, wakimaliza mambo launching ya BBI on Monday, tunangoja wakuje Meru. Na sisi hatuna vita na serikali, hatuna vita na mtu yoyote, lakini tunasema kwamba mambo yaliyo zamani nirudie.
A Machakos court has remanded the police officer who chopped off Onesmus' hand, who was an advocate. This happened during a scuffle at Watertown in Makueni County by a panga, leading to his eventual death at the Kenyatta National Hospital on Sunday. Police Constable Nancy Njeri of Makueni Police Station has been remanded for 21 days, pending mental assessment before taking a plea.
There are also some pending issues that need to be finalized by the IO, including post-mortem and the recording of statements. In that case, I would have the suspect detained at the Machakos Police Station for the purpose of mental assessment and COVID test, pending plea on 10th of November before the judge.
Council representing the deceased and the family and the Law Society of Kenya in ensuring that justice is done to our fallen colleague who left us so unexpectedly. As you may have noticed, we appeared before the Deputy Registrar of the High Court, but on the 10th of November is when the formal charge will be taken before the judge here in Machakos. And in the meantime, because the family will be pushing for non-release on bond, it's also necessary, as is the practice now, that the suspect be tested for COVID, so that in the event that bond is not granted, as we shall be praying, then she can be remanded in custody. Otherwise, with me, we are several lawyers, some of whom are behind me. Others will not be able to come, but I can assure you that they will be present throughout during the proceedings before the High Court.
Let's now take our first commercial break. Don't go too far.
looking to settle your family in an affordable, clean and serene environment? Look no further than Garden of Joy in Machakos by Optiven. The project strategically sits between the Mua and Koma Hills, providing you with beautiful landscapes, fresh air and a much-needed break from the hustle and bustle of the city. The Garden of Joy also comes with a jogging track, a meditation park and a children's play area, making it the perfect location to set up your countryside home. Get your value-added plot at only 1.295 million shillings. We also have flexible payment options of up to 12 months. Call us today on 0702 8310 83 or visit www.optivan.co.ke.
Tunakuletea burudani safi kutoka wanamuziki wa nyimbo za sifa na ibada, mahojiano ya moja kwa moja na mafunzo ya hali ya juu.
Dhamira ya mtu ikifa anaweza fanya anything. Because kile kinanitofautisha na mbuzi ni dhamira.
There was this time niliambia Mungu, mimi samahani Mungu, lakini naona umenifanya mimi kuwa daraja. Sitaki.
Ni mahali pa uchipuzi na ulezi wa vipaji.
Mwimbaji anaweza itisha akitaka, lakini unajua hiyo ni sauti
hajanunua.
Hujanunua, hiyo ni umebarikiwa nayo. So hiyo unaweza mupeane aidha bure ama. Lakini hii pande nyingine sisi tumeinvest, ni investment.
Tunabeba mwili, lakini mimi sikujua hii ni maagano nafanya.
Ungana naye Mwalimu Shaban Brima kila Ijumaa saa 2 jioni na marudio kila Jumamosi saa 10 jioni.
Machozi ya furaha nishangaze baba, ushuhuda wangu watambua wewe ni Mungu.
Dunia ni mali ya Bwana na vyote vijazavyo.
Nguruwe ni mali ya Bwana?
Ni mali ya Bwana.
Bata ni mali ya Bwana?
Ni mali.
Wewe kula basi. Acha mambo mengi.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Muislamu yoyote ambaye anamkataa Yesu, kwanza sisi tunamjua ni kafiri.
Bila huyu Yesu, mtu aendi kwa Baba.
Ungana na walimu wa neno wanapochambua masuala tata katika Biblia, wakiyalinganisha na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
Je, kuna ushahidi wowote Muhammad aliwahi na Qur'ani? Na hii Qur'ani muliitoa wapi? Halo?
Piga simu moja kwa moja na pia uchangie kupitia SMS na Facebook.
Itawezekana kitabu cha Biblia ambaye mwanakiamini kuwa ni kitabu cha Mwenyezi Mungu ishindwe kumtabiri mtu ambaye ana wafuasi zaidi ya bilioni 100 duniani?
Je, Muhammad amekufa ama yuko hai?
Ungana nasi kila Jumamosi saa 2 hadi saa 4 ya usiku kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Welcome back. The Pan-African Christian University, PAC, today held a successful virtual graduation in an effort to curb the spread of COVID-19. At least 400 graduates graduated during the institution's 39th graduation event held at Sitam Valley Road campus that saw Chancellor Bishop Dr. David Oginde and Chief Guest Makueni Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana in attendance. Grace Wangoi attended the event and prepared this report.
There remains a lot of uncertainty on whether more learners will be asked to report to school due to the surge in COVID-19 numbers in the last few weeks. However, the impact is not greatly felt for university students, unlike learners in primary and secondary schools, because the new norm has brought a new wave of doing things, including holding virtual graduation ceremonies. Pan-African Christian University students class of 2020 had a virtual graduation ceremony for most of their students who could not attend the auspicious occasion due to COVID-19 restrictions. The event that was graced by Makueni Governor Kivutha Kibwana saw only a few graduates congregate while the rest joined via online platforms and others watched on the television.
The team at PAC University
refused to panic. That's a deliberate, it was mental. It wasn't just something that hit us, but we talked about it and we refused to panic. We kept our heads up, and the University Senate and Management Board swung into action, and some of the things we asked ourselves is, how do we do it? How do we keep the academic wheel rolling as a priority proposition for us? That was one thing that I recall about the month of March this year.
Park University is not the only university in the country that has arranged for their students to have online graduation. Universities like Nairobi, Dedan Kimathi, Riara, Uma University and Egerton University have also had virtual graduation ceremonies during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Madam Chancellor, I now call upon the deans of faculties and
Park University Chancellor Bishop Dr. David Oginde and Chief Guest Makueni Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana praised the university, which had long before COVID-19 embraced online learning for their PhD and master students.
As of 2020, once more, special congratulations to each one of you. As you graduate today, I urge you never to belittle yourselves. God has put potential in each one of us, and our seemingly small experiences, given an opportunity, can grow in.
Dr. Oginde further added that only after COVID-19 that the administration decided to onboard undergraduate class in the already operational online system. The institution has not had any challenges of learning interruptions due to COVID-19 since they had embraced online learning long time ago.
No, we are not doing in person because as a university we chose to go online even before the government closed the university. That is one of our key distinctions as a university. Many of our programs are online programs. Right from certificate all the way to PhD. Like our PhD program is 100% online even before COVID-19. So students don't go to class. Our master's is 60% online, 40% in class, even before COVID-19. Then we translated all the other classes to online. So we are not affected by in-person and all those arrangements. So our classes are going on, and we have finished the semester that has passed, all online.
Grace Sangoi, HOPETV News Watch.
Now, Makueni Governor Professor Kivutha Kibwana has called on Kenyans to keenly read the BBI report and understand it before making any decisions. Kibwana, who was hesitant on accepting or dismissing its recommendations, said he is yet to peruse the document, whose unveiling is slated for Monday next week, but advised Kenyans not to be swayed by politicians into agreeing or rejecting what they have no idea about. Kibwana was speaking exclusively to HOPETV News Watch after gracing Park University's 39th graduation ceremony earlier today.
Kwa sasa sijapata nafasi nzuri ya kusoma jinsi hiyo report inasema, kwa sababu ni mambo mengi, hata kuna sheria huko, kuna policy huko. Kwa hivyo sijapata wakati mzuri, kwa sababu sasa hivi tu ndio imetoka, na nafikiri Jumatatu itakuwa inazinduliwa kirasmi. Kwa hivyo nina hamu niipitie vizuri, nisome vizuri, na tena nauliza Wakenya wenzangu, tafadhali kila mtu ajaribu kuelewa. Wale wanaweza kusoma wasome, wale wengine waambiwe vizuri na mtu wanamwamini yule amesoma inasema nini, si kusema tu watu wa siasa wakisema ndio ni ndio. Hapana, katiba ni kitu cha kila mtu binafsi, na kina maana katiba ina maana kubwa katika kubadilisha nchi yetu, kuleta jinsi nchi yetu itaendelea mbele. Kwa hivyo ni kitu cha muhimu sana, ni msingi wa maana. Sisi sote inatakikana yale mambo ya mwanzo, ile ya kuvaa masks, kuosha mikono, social distance, kuona kwamba hii ni hatari. Hao mambo yote tunataka tuzingatie, kwa sababu sasa hii inaonekana kwamba imeanza tena kuenda juu. Kwa hivyo tafadhali Wakenya wenzangu, tujikinge kwa sababu jambo hili sio jambo la mzaa, ni jambo linaleta maafa, ni jambo inatatua na serikali ihimize watu, serikali ya Nairobi na ya makaunti tuhimize watu, tusaidie watu vile vile wawe wanaweza kukabiliana na jambo hili, na wao wakiwa watu wana economy, watu wanasaidiwa na serikali vilivyo.
A total of 631 people have tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours from a sample size of 6,142, bringing to 47,843 the total number of confirmed positive cases in the country. 14 patients have succumbed to the virus, bringing the fatality to 884. Out of the new cases, 596 are Kenyans, while 35 are foreigners, with 420 being male and 211 female, with the youngest being a 1-year-old child. The oldest is 91 years. The total number of those admitted in various health facilities is 1,142, while 3,238 are on the home-based isolation care. 371 have recovered from the disease, with 313 from the home-based care program, while 58 have been discharged from various hospitals. Total recoveries now stand at 33,421. And there is a need for Africa to be proactive in the race to secure vaccines for the novel coronavirus that has infected more than 41 million people globally. Dr. John Nkezon, the head of the African Center for Disease Control and Prevention, said Africa has continued to maintain a more than 80% recovery rate, with slightly over 1.3 million patients having recovered as of Friday, with at least 40,690 people succumbing to the virus across the continent. The number of confirmed cases has reached over 1.6 million, and this is even as the African Union chairperson, South Africa President Cyril Ramaphosa, urged leaders to consider reverting to stricter lockdown regulations to stop the new wave of infections. Ramaphosa spoke during the second media coordination meeting of the African Union, the regional economic communities, and regional mechanisms.
We continue to support member states to build capacity to respond to this, because we believe that we should prepare actively for a potential second wave of the continent if the trends we are observing are maintained. That is, we're calling for continuous strong political leadership that will allow us to implement the following public health measures: increase and universal masking, scaling up of diagnostics, make sure that we engage the community so that the community own the response, avoid crowd rallies or crowded space, and make sure that we intensify our hand hygiene practices. These are the measures that we believe will continue to guide us as we fight this pandemic, especially in anticipation of a second wave. Now, with respect to testing, as of today, the total number of tests reporting, that is cumulated number of tests since the start of this pandemic in Africa, is recorded at 17 million. To be very specific, 17,500,000 tests. This represents an 8.8% increase over the last week. So if we compare last week to this week, we've noticed close to 9% increase. The 10 countries that are contributing about 75% of the testing include South Africa, Morocco, Ethiopia, Egypt, Kenya, Nigeria, Cameroon, Rwanda, Uganda, and Ghana.
Police in Mlolongo, Machakos County, have arrested a woman for attempting to sell her newborn son. The woman was arrested by the Mlolongo Division Security Team led by Assistant County Commissioner Dennis Onganga today on Wednesday, The woman reportedly attempted to sell her child born on September 2nd, 2020 at the Machakos Level 5 hospital for 60,000 Kenya shillings, citing financial challenges.
Hii si jambo la kwanza kwa ile ya mlolongo, ni janga ambalo limetusumbua sana, na wakati umepata habari kutoka kwa our informers, we have acted on the intelligence. Tumeweza ku crack down the syndicate na tumepata kwamba kuna mtoto wa wiki 2 ambaye ni mtoto wa jinsia ya kijana, akona wiki 2. Tumeweza kufuata mama mzazi na wale ambao wanasaidia katika hii kazi ya kutafuta mteja wa kununua na wa kumleta pamoja ndio waweze kupatana katikati. Tumeshika wote ambao wamehusika na tumeweza kurecover mtoto akiwa katika afya nzuri na wamepelekwa katika kituo cha polisi. Tutangoja wafunguliwe mashtaka na wastakiwe.
We now take another short commercial break. Keep it Hope TV.
Welcome to Activate.
It's a good morning. Good morning.
Kickstart your day with George and Kerry on the sweet hour of prayer.
And welcome to Activate, this being the station where you listen and live Hope FM.
From Nairobi to the world.
Great music just for you.
Activate.
The only show that keeps you activated.
Yes, indeed.
Activate every weekday morning from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on Hope FM, where you listen and live.
De Beneficius Messiah. That's the nickname of Psalm 117 when the author says, "Praise the Lord and laud him." Why should we praise the Lord? The Jewish doctors tell us that that chapter was written to be a benefit of the Christos and the coming Mashiach. And indeed, Paul referred to Jesus in 1 Timothy 6:2 as the benefit. John 4:10 refers to Jesus as the gift of God. Haggai refers to Jesus, the coming Messiah, as the desire of all nations. And Luke 2 refers to Jesus as being great tidings of joy to all people. So too, I want to encourage you that the Christ dimension can live through you so that you no longer live, but now you have the gift, the benefit, the desire of all nations, and the glad tidings of great joy manifested through you when you simply put your faith and trust in the Father who sent his Son to image him to the world. By faith, the Christ dimension will be manifested through you too.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Thank you for keeping it Hope TV. We now head to international news, where Ireland's capital Dublin has become the first European Union nation to return to lockdown, with citizens told to stay at home. Non-essential businesses have been closed and bars and restaurants reduced to takeaway service only due to the rising cases of COVID-19. The restrictions are to last for 6 weeks but will be reviewed after 4, as the total cases hit 54,476 and 1,871 deaths. And in the U.S., President Donald Trump and his Democrat rival Joe Biden differed strongly over the U.S. administration's way of handling the coronavirus pandemic. in last night's presidential debate. The two traded accusations about their personal ethics and questions each other's records on economic and racial justice issues in the final debate before the November 3rd presidential elections. Thursday night's debate saw Trump frequently interrupt Biden as Biden pressed his rival on his record in office.
Every single move that he said we should make, that's what we've done. We've done all of it.
He did virtually nothing. And then he gets out of the hospital and he talks about, don't worry, it's all going to be over soon. Come on. There's not another serious scientist in the world who thinks it's going to be over soon.
We're learning to live with it. We have no choice. We can't lock ourselves up in a basement like Joe does. He has the ability to lock himself up. I don't know. He's obviously made a lot of money someplace.
You've described the Black Lives Matter movement as a symbol of hate. You've shared a video of a man chanting white power to millions of your supporters. You've said that black professional athletes exercising their First Amendment rights should be fired.
As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on every single racist fire. Every single one.
Going to get China to do it?
No, we're finished with
Is
this.
he going to get China to do it?
We have to move on to our final question.
No,
We have to
I'm
move
going
on
to
to our final
rejoin Paris
question.
Accord and make China abide by what they agreed.
And preliminary tally in Sunday's Guinea presidential elections have shown Guinea's President Alpha Condé might win a third term in office in the bitterly fought election that has resulted in deadly violence. Condé's rival Cellou Daleon Diallo says the count was rigged so as to keep Condé in office as president for a third term. Diallo has vowed to contest the results of the election in Constitutional Court on claims that Condé is breaking the law by seeking a third term, besides having an evidence of electoral fraud in Condé's favor. With 37 of 38 electoral districts counted, Condé received 2.4 million votes versus 1.26 million from his rival Diallo ahead of official final results, which are expected to be announced on Saturday. Electoral violence erupted since Sunday's vote, with at least 10 people reportedly killed. And to business news now, Airtel Africa has registered double-digit growth performance in the second quarter of 2020, according to the just released half-year results. Airtel's customer base grew by 12% to 1.4 million Kenya shillings. The results also now show revenue also increased by 10.7%, with second quarter revenue growing by a margin of 14.3%. Its mobile money business also significantly improved, with constant currency revenue growth of 33.9%, which is 8% more compared to the prior quarter. Joe Jesse reports more.
According to Airtel Africa half-year results, the telco recorded growth across all the regions. Nigeria was up 20.2%, East Africa was up 21.9%, and Francophone Africa was up by 4.4% in its service provision. Moreover, Airtel's Africa voice revenue was also up by 7.0%, while data was 33.5% up and mobile money by 30.4%. The statement also shows that Airtel Africa's profit increased by 19.5% to $472 million, while free cash flow was $319 million compared to $210 million in the same period last year. Airtel Africa has also launched a new policy of an interim dividend in line with the new progressive dividend policy to focus on the growth opportunities and faster deleveraging. Raghunath Mandava, Chief Executive Officer Airtel Africa, has said the telco remains alert to the potential for further disruption from a second wave of COVID-19 across Africa and the associated actions of governments to minimize the spread.
The Border Safety Association of Kenya has partnered with Rubis Energy and Nabo Capital to launch a savings and investment scheme for border riders in the country, which will be regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, CMA. The launch presided by President Uhuru Kenyatta will see the border riders build a nest egg by saving 50 per egg and managed by Nabo Capital, a subsidiary of Centum Investment Company, PLC. The scheme will first enroll 100 riders from each of the 47 counties, gradually building up to cover the 1.4 million border riders countrywide.
Every week you make almost 6.8 billion shillings. And every month you have the potential to make 27 billion shillings. But the question you must ask yourself is that if you are collecting almost 1 billion shillings every day, kwa nini kila bodaboda analia umaskini? Hiyo ndio swali sasa, si ndio? Kwa sababu pesa iko mikononi mwenu, si ndio? Lakini bado tunalia umaskini, si ni hivyo? Na sijui kama kuna industry ingine Kenya mzima ambaye inatengeneza pesa kiasi ya kile nyinyi mnatengeneza kila siku.
We have decided as a company that we are going to give them a 3 shillings, up to 3 shillings discount per liter. If you fuel as a member, 3 shillings will hold it, and not only on the fuel, but also on cooking gas, because we want our young people to be empowered to use cooking gas, and you will have a discount of 10 shillings per kilo.
On behalf of the Capital Markets Authority, which is an agency within your government, to give assurance that collective investment schemes are very secure, regulated vehicles for savings of funds. We've heard from the chairman of the association of the dreams of the border drivers and owners, their investment aspirations, and I want to give comfort that the Capital Markets Authority will ensure that will happen. Collective investment schemes basically have three independent agents. As we have heard, we have the fund managers who make investment decisions, we have the custodian who keeps the assets, and we have the trustees who coordinate the governance structures. And then the Capital Markets Authority will license each of those players as well as the scheme itself, and on an ongoing basis ensure that the regulatory rules and obligations are fulfilled so that the savings of the members are protected.
Let's take another short break. We'll be back with sports.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the x-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them. A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
Thank you for keeping us company. We now go to sport news, where Kenya's men national football team, Harambee Stars, has moved up 3 spots in the latest FIFA rankings released on Thursday. Kenya now sits in position 103 with 1,205 points, 4 behind Libya and 1 ahead of Palestine. Elsewhere, Gareth Bale started for Tottenham Hotspur for the first time in 7 years and helped them to a 3-0 win over Austria Austria's LASK in their first match of the Europa League group phase. That and more in our sports roundup with Joseph Maingi.
The rise has been attributed to Harambee Stars' win against AFCON champion Zambia in the recent friendly match played on October 9th at the refurbished Nyayo National Stadium. Up next from the team is a two-legged African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Comoros on November 12th and November 15th this year. Uganda is the highest-ranked nation in the CECAFA region with 1,321 points in the 78th position globally. The highest African-ranked nation remains Sadio Mane's Senegal, which comes in the 21st position in the world, followed by Tunisia on the 26th position and Algeria on the 30th position. Nigeria and Morocco complete the Africa's top 5 in the 32nd and 39th position respectively. Belgium, world champions France and Brazil complete the top 3, with England, Portugal, Spain, Uruguay, Argentina and 2018 finalists Croatia and Colombia making it into the top 10 in that order. To some UEFA Europa League update, and AC Milan withstood a late onslaught to beat Celtic 3-1 as AZ Alkmaar overcame the loss of 13 players with positive COVID-19 cases to secure a shocking 1-0 win at Napoli as the Europa League group stage got underway. London side Tottenham and Arsenal made it to a winning start, as did fellow Premier League club Leicester City. Arsenal, who have not claimed the Europa League trophy since lifting the World Cup in 1994, went behind Rapid Vienna, but defender David Luiz and striker Pierre Aubameyang struck late for a 2-1 win in Group B. Fellow Premier League side Leicester and Tottenham cruised to a comfortable 3-0 wins. Villarreal and Turkish side Sivasspor played out to an 8-goal thriller in Group I, with Spanish side grabbing a 5-2 win thanks to a late double striker by Paco Alcácer. Bayern Leverkusen went on rampage against a French side and Nice to win 6-2. AS Roma came from a goal behind to beat Swiss side Young Boys 2-1 thanks to 2 goals in 5 second-half minutes by Bruno Perez and Marcia Cubalos in Group A. Spanish club Granada and Real Sociedad enjoyed a 2-1 and 1-0 win over PSV Eindhoven and Croatian side Rijeka in Group E and Group F respectively. Benfica on the side chalked up a 4-2 victory over Poznan as Rangers won 2-0 against Stade Liège. That's your sport. I'm Joseph Maingi.
And that's it for Newswatch tonight. Thank you so much for keeping us company this far. Let me say thank you to my director, Richard, and Ian and Karen for facilitating all this. And I want to wish you a good night and a blessed weekend. My name is Teresia Njenga, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Mureithi. God bless you.